Robbers who shot and killed two police officers at Poyamiria, a community on the outskirts of Binduri in the Upper East region. According to a statement issued by the Director of Public Affairs, Assistant Commissioner of Police ACP Grace and Sakrofi, the incident occurred on Sunday, April 13. The officers, they were in plain clothes and they were said to be traveling on a private motorbike from Bongo to Binduri when they were ambushed by the robbers. That's according to the statement from the Ghana Police Service. The attackers reportedly took away the motorbike after shooting the officers. Well, the identities of the deceased officers, according to the police, they were being withheld as authorities worked to inform their families in line with traditional and customary practices. The police have assured the public that every effort is being made to apprehend those responsible and bring them to justice. Also, a man has been allegedly killed at Binduri in the Upper East region and his body burned together with a motorcycle he is believed to have been riding. It is unclear who the culprit of the attack is or are, but the killing is most likely linked to the ongoing chieftaincy conflict in Bawku. The long-standing conflict has been recently spilled over to areas such as Pusiga and Binduri. And they are neighboring districts to Bawku, all in the Upper East region. Now, details of how the young man was killed, they remain sketchy. But people within the vicinity, they suspect he may have been ambushed.
Choose peace, not war.
Well, the photograph of his lifeless body shows the suspected assailant standing close by, his shadow revealing that he may have been carrying a rifle. The victim is suspected to have been shot and his body was later dragged into a nearby dry grass and set ablaze together with his motorcycle. Well, the police, they are yet to officially commend so much for making time for us this morning. It's not so much of a good morning in the Upper East region, is it?
Yeah, so good morning to your listeners and your team members in the TV. Right.
The Upper East region has been in the news recently. In fact, yesterday, we understand, according to the police, two officers have been shot by robbers. Now, also on Wednesday, a man was allegedly killed at Binduri in the Upper East region. His body burned together with his motorcycle that he is believed to have been riding. Now, these incidents, they are adding up to the number of cases we're witnessing in the Upper East region. As chair of the Regional Security Council, Honorable, what are you picking?
Well, good morning to the listeners. Upper East, of late, as far as the Bawku enclave is concerned, has not realized peace because of the conflict. And in fact, earlier on, because of the nature of the route, the armed robbers used to be in the tea forest and be attacking. So that is why they had to do police posts along the route. And so the conflict also mixed up with this robbery activities is making the area very difficult to live in because I mean when you are a stranger, you are passing and it's the night, you can be attacked by the robbers. And so it is not a good thing. So as RESEC, what we intend to do is to continue to keep surveillance and make sure that in terms of the robbery, have to deploy more personnel so that they can fight the robbers on the way. Then in terms of the conflict, the president has already initiated steps about that, and we are waiting patiently that the eminent chief of the Overlord of Ashanti will come out soon with the resolutions for us to enjoy peace like other areas in the country.
Honorable, you spoke about the situation on the highways. Let's stay a little bit on that. Then we'll get into, what other things is happening in the Bawku enclave as well. Speaking about, protecting the highways, are there plans to increase border patrols, police checkpoints, and all of that? And how effective will that be? Because now we understand checkpoints are being burnt and all of that.
No, the checkpoints, it was just a single day where there was this misunderstanding between the youth and then the police personnel based on their interpretation of the activities of the police in terms of their market system in the Kusau area. And so that was where there was reports of some police installations being attacked. But it is not a usual practice. So we know that once IGP has come and the youth leaders have met the IGP, if they are able to resolve that relationship issue, the burning down of police posts and other things will cease. And so if those cease, then you are able to also deploy a number of police checkpoints at the area there. You also be able to fight the crime. That is what we are looking at.
For highway security, Honorable, for RECSEG, highway security in the Upper East region, how is RECSEG ensuring that the highways in the Upper East region are safe?
Yeah, we are ensuring that they are safe through the deployment of the police personnel and the army. You have the 11 mechanized battalion that is in the western side there. They also have another battalion that is positioned in the eastern enclave at Bazua. So you have the Tumu Chichuluga route that links Upper East to Upper West. You have the 11 mechanized battalion that is going all those areas to Paga and those things to ensure. And then the northeast, the road linking the region to the northeast, they are patrolling all those areas to ensure that, to give backing to the police, to ensure that we are able to control the road crime. And you already have the battalion's position at Bazua in the Bawku area. They also assist the police along that area to also ensure that the activities of the robbers are brought under control.
What about the situation of snap checks, police or military stopping vehicles in the middle of the road just to ensure that nobody is carrying any weapon whatsoever?
Well, that happens. Once the patrol team is on, they do that. And then they even take some kind of intelligent information as to where they are expecting some activities, and then they position themselves to take care of that. But that is highly security in nature, and that is why I don't want to go deep talking about those things. But the checkpoints, they are doing the spot checks and all that. Yeah.
I see. Honorable, let's now talk about the Bawku conflict. Now, a lot have been happening over the past couple of days. What has been the situation or the reason for the recent, and I say recent because that was not how it has been so far, the recent clashes between resident and police officers, Honorable?
Yes, thank you very much. The issue is very simple. It was a matter of a market that was created by the Kusau Traditional Council at the suburbs, and so they are of the view that the people, the other faction that is at conflict with them, that is positioned in town, they should not participate in the commercial activities in that market, because to them, culturally, they were supposed to have performed certain rituals in order to integrate. And so that is not quite proper in terms of culture to them. And then apart from that, security-wise, if they also have the those people are turning there. If there's any slightest misunderstanding, it can spark up because already there's a conflict situation. So they didn't want to also get involved. That is their side of the story. And so the police were also there. And once that activity was carried out by the youth, the police did not also understand that. And then that is where their issue occurred. So the police said, no, they will not, it is not proper to do that. And that is why they also disagree. That brought about the issue.
The event yesterday, the unfortunate event yesterday, and I'm talking about what the police is calling as an armed robbery attack that led to the death of 2 plainclothes officers.
Yeah.
It is generating a lot of conversation with people suggesting or advocating for a state of emergency declaration in the Upper East region, particularly the Bawku enclave. From where you sit as chair of RECSEG, has it not gotten to this point? Is there not the need for the declaration of a state of emergency in Bawku?
Well, I am here to meet at RECSEG and take a decision. But if you are talking as an individual, if you talk about the state of emergency declaration, and you tie it to armed robbery situation in Bawku or the police, the 2 police, which the police have reported that it came as a result of robbery. I think that if you want to declare a state of emergency in an area because there is robbery, then the whole Ghana, they should declare state of emergency.
Honorable,
because robbery occurred in all routes.
Minister, it's not just because of
on the roads there. So,
Minister, it's not just because of the robbery there. You know the context I'm having the conversation on.
Okay.
So
they come clear because you are saying that because of the incident. I'm getting your question to link to the robbery matter that has been reported. And so they are talking about
the police. The police described what happened yesterday, the death of the 2 people, as robbery.
Yes.
So, and that is what, in fact, in the first place, after the police statement, and you may not be a police officer, so I understand that, but after the police statement, the conversation has been that it is improper to describe what happened yesterday as robbery because it did not look like robbery. Fair enough, the police is describing it as robbery. But bearing in mind the conflict situation there, and if there is robbery and police officers, plainclothes officers are being killed, is it not culminating for the need for a state of emergency declaration in Bawku and its environs?
That is why I'm saying that there are 2 things you're trying to bring together.
Exactly.
And that is where I am saying that if it is about the Bawku conflict that is happening there,
mm-hmm.
It has been referred to an eminent chief to handle, and then it is not like it is sporadic. Every day they are fighting on each other. It is some instance that sparks up an issue, then it is brought under control. And so, declaring state of emergency, it is not an all-war situation. And so, why would we declare state of emergency? And then if you say that the police reported the 2 deaths as a robbery, and then maybe from certain courtesies or certain interpretation, people are not believing that. That one, I will not be able to judge whether what the police have reported is right or what the other people, the perception of other people too, will be right. But I'm only saying that if granted that the police are the people who have the equipment, they have their capacity to be able to investigate and all that. And then they said these people are in plain clothes, and they are only police personnel who are in plain clothes. And so if they have been robbed, if they were even in the police uniform and then they were robbed, you would have said, oh, probably why? Is it crossfire? But they are in plain clothes, and you wouldn't know. And if the police reported and they say they will not, people are not understanding them or not accepting their position, it will be difficult for me to conclude that one should be something for us to take it up, that we should call for a state of emergency, because that is just an issue that the officers in charge said is robbery, unless we are able to prove otherwise. And if we prove otherwise, with that instance alone, can that be something for us to go and conclude that we should have a state of emergency? Apart from that too, I am saying that if it's actually the robbery, it is not necessary to have a state of emergency in the Bawku or in the that area, because robbery doesn't occur only in that area. The robbery is occurring everywhere in Ghana, and even in the capital. So if there's robbery, two people died as a result of that, it is not sufficient to declare the area as a state of emergency. That's what I mean.
Minister, so let's now talk about this. So still on these two subjects, if you like. The IGP, when he went to Bawku, he was booed. And in fact, his vehicle, we understand, was shot at. Now, 2 police officers have also lost their lives in what the police is describing as an armed robbery attack. Maybe let's keep it like that. The question on how we are protecting the police officers in that area is also arising, because since the incident yesterday, we've been inundated with calls from police officers in the Upper East region, in the Bawku enclave, scared for their lives. Some callers, and they are crying, they are asking for help. As chair of RECSEG, how are these officers in Bawku and its enclave, in Pusiga and all the other areas surrounding Bawku in the middle of the conflict, how are they being protected, Minister?
I think if you talk about protecting the police, the way you can protect them is that if they have body armor and then they have the helmets, that and then armor cars, that can help them be able to contain crime. But when you get into those services, you are not put into those services only for you to be at a place where there is no issue. You are put into those services because there's a need for you. When there's a conflict, you should go and resolve. So I would rather think that the police will only call for what they can use to protect themselves in the situations like that. And that one we have made, the RECSEG has made call on the Interior Minister. And just last week, they had brought some, inadequate anyway. And but we think that they're still continuing to supply. And so I would rather encourage that the police should rather see that an area where there's a conflict, that is the more reason why they have been recruited into the security services to protect those areas. And so if anybody is calling that he should be released from an area where they need him most, I don't think that is the right way to go.
But
so
Minister,
I believe that the authorities should rather try to see if you are there to protect. You should not be doing it at the peril of your life.
Exactly.
It should be armed in a manner when you are there to protect others, you yourself should be protected. That is what I can be looking at.
So exactly, and that is what I'm asking. That as RECSEG, is there any policy direction or policy initiative that you are championing to protect these officers, those who are not clothed as police officers? Because what happened yesterday, they were in Mufti.
That is why I'm saying that with regards to the police personnel, we have made a strong case that they should be given protective clothing so that they will be able to perform their duty there, so that it will not be at the peril of their lives. And so just last week, 2 armor cars came in, and then I understand there are some other equipment. So these are not items that you can be mentioning on radio. So because for security reasons, but they are trying to respond to those things so that they will be able to contain the robbery issues over there. But I am saying that it is rather unfortunate that when there's a place that you need the service of the personnel, they rather will call and say that they should let them leave the place. They should rather call and say that they should try to provide them all the necessary equipment that will make them defend the people or pursue their career without doing it at the peril of their lives. That is my position on the issue. Everybody is given a responsibility to carry out, and then everybody must live up to his job. But you should not be doing it at the peril of your life. That is what I'm talking about. And that one, the RECSEG has continually requested that the police in the area should be protected by through giving them all what they can take to protect their lives so that they can, when they are confronted with the armed robbers, then they should not lose their lives like the unfortunate situation happened yesterday.
Minister, still in Bawku and its surroundings, has RECSEC been able to quantify the resources that it is losing? And I'm talking about human resources. Teachers are refusing postings there. Now police officers want to leave the area. Amenities are lacking. Medical officers do not want to go there. Is RECSEC able to put, a value on what it has lost in the Upper East region, particularly in Bawku and its surrounding communities, since the resurgence of this conflict?
Well, if you're talking about the resurgence of the conflict, it keeps on happening, and so you'll be updating it. And so, for instance, if just 3-4 days ago, this class brought about a loss of life and that kind of thing. And so it will not be easy for the RECSEC to say that they have quantified all these things. And if the burning of some properties occurred just 2 days ago, you cannot, as of now, you might have not known the value to be able to give that. And then you know that this Bawku matter is not today's issue. And so if you are talking about quantification, then you have to start from the beginning of it. And when it predated some of us. And so you have to look at, so everybody, even in Ghana, is worried about what is happening. We know it's a great loss.
Right.
You don't even need to go and compute so that you can know that it's a loss. And that even if one person's life is lost, how are we going to quantify the life? So in that case, Bawku conflict, we need to resolve it. And all hands should be brought on deck. Everybody who has an aspect, ideas about how we should resolve it, this will come to the aid of us, and so that we can lay this matter to rest, so that people can have peace. That's all about it, because the quantification will not be necessary. We are not going to, how are we going to even quantify somebody losing their life? That is my position.
No, Minister, we're not asking about, the lives lost. So let me, unfortunately, the regional minister left us.